Vadd here, and welcome to a hybrid attack strategy guide. We are here in Legends League. We are, of course, a Town Hall 14, and we are going to talk a little bit about how to be successful using the hybrid attack. What makes a hybrid attack a hybrid attack? Well, it's going to have a queen walk with miners and with hogs. So as an army goes, the hogs only target defensive buildings and the miners target any and all buildings. Both of those types of troops can go over and under walls. We will of course be using the siege barracks as we make our way through this hybrid attack. That siege barracks has that P.E.K.K.A. that comes out in front of all of those wizards. It really sets a nice hard edge for us into our attack. You know, the two most important skills in all of Clash of Clans are number one, funneling, and number two, spell timing and placement. Your hybrid attack is only as good as your funneling. Failing to set a good funnel at the beginning of the attack is going to absolutely doom your hybrid attack to be a consistent failure. This is part of why I'm always giving the island bases a hard time, because they give you an easy funnel to set, especially for these hybrid attacks. The most important thing to know with your queen walk is that you're queen walking for pathing. You are not queen walking for value. The difference between queen walking for pathing and value is fairly straightforward. When we're queen walking for value, we are saying to ourselves, I need this queen to go and get the eagle. I need my queen to go and take out that scatter shot. I need my queen to go and target X and take it off the board. That's queen walking for value. But in the hybrid attack, I think it's much more important to be queen walking for pathing. Notice on this base here, we have gone ahead and allowed our queen to clear out this little box here. By clearing out this box, it makes it easy for us as the attacker to know where our hybrid attack is going to come and path through the base. Now, we also set our siege barracks a little bit too late / too early. Remember, when you place your siege barracks down, 30 seconds later, it'll crumble and the siege troops will come out. So optimally, ideally, the most efficient, perfect, best way to do it is 30 seconds before you know you're going to go ahead and set down your main kill squad of hogs and miners. That's when your siege barracks will fall apart. In this case, we weren't as successful with that. However, it's not that big of a deal. Once you have the base kind of curved, kind of carved, kind of lined up how you want, go ahead and send in your main kill squad. The hybrid attack really is a very, very fast attack, and sometimes it can feel like it's getting a little bit out of control. Part of why it might feel that way are bases like this box base, this compartmentalized base. We're gonna set a really hard funnel here. What does that mean? It means we're going to be very intentional, using a lot more resources than you might think to make sure that we know exactly where our troops are going to go. These little compartmenty walls where our troops could kind of bounce back and forth between can really mess you up as an attacker. We committed our siege barracks to go ahead and get the P.E.K.K.A. through this wall here, because that Expo is going to keep sustained damage on our queen, but we're not really doing it to save our queen. We're dropping the siege barracks there to make sure we are setting a hard funnel. Can you kind of see the shape we're carving into this base? Can you kind of see the angle we're trying to send in our troops? From the compartment the queen's in, she'll get the clown castle out of the way, she'll get the eagle, she'll get a whole bunch of great value there, but her job was to set the path for the hogs. Remember, the two most important skills in all of Clash of Clans, number one, funneling, and number two, spell timing and placement. It's a lot easier to properly time and place your spells when you have your troops nicely funneled and grouped up into the base. They really go hand in hand, those two separate skills, and they really are skills. You know, you could spend all the money in the world and try and get as far into the game as you could, but you would still lack some of the fundamentals of how to funnel into the base properly. Check out this base here. Again, kind of a tricky compartment base, but even with this quote-unquote tricky compartment base, there's some open paths we can walk through, and if we play our queen walk right. I'm really hoping we can maybe get her in here and take out the eagle. But even if she doesn't go in and take out the eagle, it's going to be okay. It's not the only thing for her to do. As long as she gets a good funnel set for our kill squad, then we have nothing to worry about. These open base types, I think, were kind of a meta right when the super wall breakers were pretty fresh into the game. They've been in the game for a while now, but these bases still exist. It can make it kind of funky to funnel into a base. However, with the hybrid attack, this queen charge here, not queen charge, the queen walk, you know, we're going for pathing, not value. We're not too worried about what compartments are open or not. We really need to just kind of relax and let the queen go where she's going to go. We know where we want her to go, but if she doesn't go there, the attack isn't ruined. We just need to see if we need to adjust our pathing through the base. Something we haven't really talked about yet are the spells. We bring 2 heal spells, and those heal spells are specifically for our kill squad. The kill squad is that main group that's going into the base. In this attack, it's our hybrid, which means miners and hogs. We bring 2 heal spells. Things we want to be considering to use the heal spells on are when we're coming into some of the splash defenses. Splash defense are the opposite of the point defenses. What do I mean by that? Well, cannons are point defenses. They can only target one target, and they just shoot that one target. Wizards target everyone in the area of their blast. They're going to splash the damage around and are going to do a lot of damage to our troops if we allow them to. That's what we have the heal spells for. Scatter shots are splash defenses. Wizard towers, splash defenses. Bomb towers, splash defenses. And multi-infernos, I'm going to also consider a splash defense. In reality, they're a point defense, but they can target multiple targets, 5, 6, etc. So we're going to consider them all targets to consider using our heal to get through. Bomb towers, I think, were directly added to the game to counter hogs, because remember, not only do they do direct damage when they are throwing that bomb and it's splash damage, but when they die, they leave those double bombs. The hybrid really is a little bit of a risky attack. I know if you talk to anyone who's like a dedicated hybrid attacker, they'll tell you it's super safe. That's not true. They're wrong. The one big issue with the hybrid attack are the traps in the base. Ground skeletons can be a real problem, as can spring traps. I guarantee if you hybrid attack long enough, you're going to have 1 or 2 attacks that go absolutely terribly wrong because your army just hits all the spring traps. It does happen. Now, beyond ground skeletons and spring traps, the tornado trap can be a little bit of a problem as well, depending on if the tornado trap is well placed, what defenses are targeting you. But ultimately, when we're talking about our spells for this attack, the heal spell is to be used kind of in and or through some of those splash defenses. I know if I have my Warden ability still up, I don't necessarily want to also drop a heal spell. Just kind of a small mistake I see hybrid attackers make is they throw down their heal spell and they go, well, actually I'm going to have to Warden here. And now they've kind of wasted the spell. I don't mind if you use a heal spell early or late. Use it when you need to use it. But generally, before you've dropped your troops, you've kind of figured out where you might need to heal on the base. So when you're trying to plan out your hybrid attacks, the first part of planning a good hybrid attack is taking the time to say, where can my queen walk to set a good path so I know where my kill squad's going to go? It's kind of part 1. And then part 2 is, how do I use my siege barracks to set kind of the other half of the funnel? Where should I bring in maybe my barbarian king? And now that you know where your kill squad's going to go, then the question becomes, I have 2 heal spells. Where am I planning on using them? Now, of course, once the attack is started, things might change. You might find traps in a different place. Other things you need to be cautious of with the hybrid attack are the defending champions. I really don't see this talked about enough, but when you upgrade your champions, it's not only making your offensive army stronger, but in addition, they defend your base and they really can be a menace. With the additional hero of the Royal Champion, you're probably watching this at a point where the Royal Champion's been in the game for a while, yet the Royal Champion really does change up the way you're going to use your hybrid attack. You can send your Royal Champion in with your kill squad. That's an option. You can send your royal champion in with the troops that come out of the siege barracks. I'm always recommending hogs in the siege barracks. You want them targeting defenses. It makes it easier to figure out where they're going the path, but defending champions can be a real problem. If you send your royal champion in with the kill squad, then that royal champion will help your kill squad muscle through defending champions. The barbarian king's tough. He's got a big health pool, and he can pretty much one-shot punch out the hog riders. The defending royal champion and archer queen are a little squishier, but they also do very good damage, and they might stay behind a wall. Additionally, there's always the warden statue, but it's a point defense, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. All that being said, you want to be mindful of the defensive champions. Consider them splash damage, not because you want to heal through them, but you need to plan around them. Did you see just there, our royal champion ran over a spring trap? Wasn't that just great? Wasn't that nice the way that that spring trap didn't kill any of our troops? Yeah, so that's part of why I'm always a little hesitant to say definitely hybrid's the way to go. You really could hit some bad traps, and it could really mess up your attack. We also bring on the hybrid attack some freeze spells. The importance of the freeze spells is to be flexible. We could be using the freeze spells to help with our queen walk. We could also be using our freeze spells to help with our kill squad. Maybe you used your heal spells a little earlier than you planned, and you know that there was some heavy splash damage in one section of the base still to come. So you decided to bring in a freeze spell. Like on this base here, you can see in one corner we're going to come into, there's 2 wizard towers as well as the scatter shot, a multi-inferno that will all be targeting our troops. That's a great spot to be thinking to ourselves before the attack starts. I probably want to heal through this section, or I need to be trying to put a freeze spell somewhere in this section, or my warden ability. But sometimes you just don't have the option for the warden ability. Maybe before you got to that section you had an issue and you burned your heal spells. Well, you could use those freeze spells. Just be however flexible you want with the freeze spells. They're not really crucial to this attack. The hybrid attack is really made or broken by that initial funnel, but the spells are really the difference between high percentage hybrid attacks and getting the 3-star and tripling on these hybrid attacks. Notice when we put our queen down, we consistently put down 1 balloon with the queen. Why? Well, it'd be a real shame if our queen went down a little early because we hit a couple of black mines and now we're not going to get the pathing we need. It's worth having that 1 balloon, the Coco Loon if you will, just to try and absorb some damage. Like a well-rounded good attacker, we always of course bring a poison spell, and we're always bringing the headhunters. Why are we bringing the headhunters? Well, a couple of reasons. One, we talked about earlier that the defending heroes, the defending champions, are genuinely targets that can stop our attack from being successful, but they not only could stop our kill squad from running through the base, they could mess up our queen's pathing. So whenever we can, we're going to try and use our headhunters judiciously to help the team clear out the base. It's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. This attack really has quite a few moving parts. I'm not saying it has more moving parts than other attacks in Clash of Clans, but it feels like a fast attack, and I think it can feel very overwhelming, and I think it can also be kind of a frustrating attack to try and learn, because things are probably going to go wrong for a longer time than you might think before they start going right. And that's just kind of upsetting, because you're going to see people like in this video here just triple bases and it just looks so easy, and then you do it in spring traps. You know, one type of base I think that the hybrid actually does really well into are these dirty ring bases. These ring bases are so obnoxious to play against, simply because the ring base in one sentence says this: I'm betting you suck at funneling. As a hybrid attacker, the reality is our attack is made or broken by our funnel. It's really the deciding factor on how successful we are. This means that when we see ring bases, we're probably going to triple or fail in the most embarrassing fashion, and it's going to be a funnel fail long before anything else. I guarantee you ring bases are not going to be a problem once you really get the hybrid attack down. Part of why ring bases struggle versus the hybrid attack, not only because they rely on the attacker failing at their funnel in some way or another. The traps are really easy to predict on ring bases. They often have their buildings just a little too close together, and it makes it easier as a hybrid attacker to go, okay, if I had to guess where I should use my warden, probably right here where all the damage is. It's really one of those bases that when you see as a dedicated hybrid attacker, you're just going to kind of smile and go, ah, yes, a free triple. The army composition I use for my hybrid attack does not use any super troops. We do, of course, have some wall breakers so we can get our queen pathing the way we want them. In Legends League, you have to set up your army and just go in. If you're in a war attack, then you can be a little more strategic with your wall breakers. The super wall breaker is pretty great. If there's one super troop I might swap in, I would definitely consider, as of the current state of the game, to try the super wall breaker instead of the regular wall breakers. However, I don't think most bases are really designed at the Town Hall 14 current meta to stop a wall break. It used to be more of a thing before the super troops. Now we see more of these kind of open compartments, which when we're queen walking for pathing are kind of just exciting to see. One thing to be careful of is the defending CC and the eagle. Those are two defending targets that are always problematic and can be trouble for us. But in the hybrid attack, it can be some serious trouble, especially if you lost your royal champion early to a single target inferno. That would be a pretty big mistake right there. Now, what are our options? Well, we can freeze them. We can freeze the eagle. We can warden through some of those big eagle blasts, but you really need to kind of keep an eye on your troops. Yes, the miners can tunnel under the walls and the hogs jump over the walls, so we move quick. But what that also means is we can sometimes just move into a lot more damage than we think we're in and get ourselves into some real trouble. So when we're pathing our queen, if there's an opportunity for our queen to pull the defending CC in her pathing, that's a huge win for us. It's kind of like a double whammy there on the base, where we get the points for making our good path for our troops, but we're also getting the points for getting rid of the defending CC. On this base here, we're walking our queen into a single target inferno. Now, whether she's going to go there or not, we don't know, but we want to be mindful of that fact and be thinking about our freeze spells if we're going to need them or not. The real problem on this base, once you set up a good funnel, is that on one end you can see we have we have two wizard towers, the multi-inferno and the eagle, and then on the other end, kind of to the right, we have the 4 expos, the multi-inferno, the barbarian king, and the defending clan castle. It's kind of easy as a hybrid attacker to recognize that single target inferno as an initial problem, but did you save enough of your spells to get through the back end of the base? Did you save your warden ability for this town hall? You have to see in advance on this attack kind of what might play out, and failing to kind of predict that is going to be what separates you from being an average hybrid attacker to a pretty good one. That town hall was positioned in such a way that we as the attacker were guaranteed to eat the poison damage and the big slow and the bomb, and whatever's in that defending clan castle really is kind of a tough base. Not so much the funnel, it's kind of an easy base to funnel into, but we had to decide, do we want to let the eagle wail on us for a bit, or are we going to risk that we can get through this other end of the base that has all of those expos? It's not a decision that I like to make very often, but when you have to make it, you have to make it. And those are decisions that you as the hybrid attacker are going to be making all the time. And part of that is because the hybrid attack is flexible. We really could have come in on that last base on either angle. Same thing here with this kind of diamond compartmentalized base. Maybe it's a ring base. It's kind of wide open. on some of the corners, but on one end is the Eagle, on the other end is the Town Hall, and in the middle are all those multi-infernos. It's really kind of a base you don't want to mess with, especially because where are the traps? They could really be almost anywhere on this base, and we have all those storages internally, which are high health point structures. Here come a couple of Teslas. This is a tough base. This is genuinely just a base that is a hybrid attacker. You're kind of rolling the dice coming into. You can set the best full in the world, but you could really hit some bad traps in this base. Can it be tripled? Yes. I'm telling you right now, you can triple the base. However, it's just not going to be an easy base. This is really going to test your ability as a hybrid attacker. And again, I really think this is one of those attacks that you're going to fail the majority of time before you get it right. Maybe you're just a little lucky and you happen to just get this attack down early. I'm really telling you, in my experience, my time playing, this was a hard attack to learn. And maybe it's because I do a lot of air attacks. I just enjoy them more. I like the dragons. I think they look cool, but all in all, it's a good attack. It really is. I still think I prefer just the mass hogs or the mass miners, but I don't think that that's working very well with the current state of the town halls. All that being said, the hybrid attack really requires you to make a lot of decisions, not only before the attack starts, but also during the attack here. In this attack, we're going to take quite a few eagle shots before we can get to that eagle. That was a choice we made. We decided as the attacker, we're going to take a few eagle shots. That was a conscious decision before we put a single troop down. You really have to be thinking about these things before the attack starts. Take advantage of your time to scout out the base. This is Clash of Clans. Ask your clanmates, hey, I'm thinking about going on this side. Sometimes people just see things that you don't. Sometimes people will ask questions you're not thinking. Notice this base here. It's just kind of weird. Where do you even approach this from? Like, every angle is kind of the same as the other. They all pretty much look the same. Just relax. Just get a little zen here. It doesn't matter. Pick an angle and commit to it. You know, we see single target infernos. That's always a good thing for us as the hybrid attacker, because that means it's one less defense we'll consider using our heal through, but it can mess up our pathing. Then we remind ourselves, but we have the freeze spell. You're going to kind of go through that process a bit as you're learning the hybrid, where you're going to start identifying problems and then forget you have solutions to them, and then remember you have solutions to them, and then you'll be halfway in the attack and you'll panic. You're going to hit those double bombs next to the scatter shot. You're going to poison your queen instead of rage your queen. You're going to rage the defending troops. Just relax. Mistakes are really a part of the process with the hybrid attack. You can learn this attack if you want to. It's not going to be an easy attack to learn, but you can learn it and you can do it. Note one last thing, the rage spells, it's really not worth raging anything that isn't your queen. If you want to swap one rage for a heal spell, we're always bringing 3 rage spells. Feel free to do that. All that being said, I really hope that this has helped you. If you learned something or enjoyed this video, share with a friend. If you are new here, subscribe now. If you have joined and enjoyed before, welcome back. If you would like to see more quality content, please consider joining me in supporting the channel through Patreon and utilizing the affiliated links. Thanks.